When you're choosing your program for the competition, make sure you're choosing songs that are age appropriate, type appropriate, and appropriate for your voice as well.
The important thing is to come as you are and not as you think you will be in 40 years.
You don't want to choose material that's way too old for you or too young for you, and roles that you could conceivably be cast in right away. So they're appropriate for who you are today as a performer. Variety here will be your great friend and ally.
Don't sing the same song 4 times. You want to show the judges that you are a versatile artist who can do it all.
You want to make sure that not only are you showcasing different sides of your voice and your personality, but that the material you select is also widely varied in terms of style, period, mood, and content. Make sure you use your own intelligence in terms of bringing the correct vocal style to the material that you're presenting.
You wouldn't belt Wagner. Belting Wagner would get you about as far as singing Dear Evan Hansen legit. It just doesn't make any sense.
In other words, you wouldn't want to do the operatic version of I Can't Say No, right? You wouldn't want to sing, it ain't so much a question of not knowing what to do. That would be, of course, totally wrong. So make sure that you're using your skills to be appropriate in terms of style and period for every song that you choose. You might be wondering, how much should I be moving during my program? And how much should I be gesturing? And I think the answer is anything that feels intrinsic and instinctively right to do is right. But you want to avoid gesture that doesn't come from a place of character and preparation.
Avoid indicating things that are already in the text. You don't need to point to the stars when you have stars in the text. You don't need to indicate your heart when your heart is broken. The text will express this. Be true to the text, and your body will follow.
Gestural work is so important and so helpful, but make sure they come from a place in the moment of the character needing or wanting something. When you're preparing your program, I would suggest that you speak through all of your text as though it were a monologue or a conversation with someone.
Take the text away from the music. See how it feels just within the rhythm, the natural rhythm of speech. And then you can go back and add on the music.
So you get out of the habit of marrying the text with the music every time. That will put a special emphasis on the text as a dramatic piece alone, apart from the music, and will give you a sense of practicing the song out of rhythm. And I think it will make it much more alive when you put the music and the text back together again.
This is not just a singing competition, this is a theater singing competition. You have to know what's going on in this scene.
All the research and preparation and background work that you do putting your program together will not go unnoticed by the judges.
It's not enough to sing the song. You have to know why your character is here. Why is your character here? What is he or she trying to accomplish?
In other words, do too much work on this. You want to know the show backwards and forwards. You want to know when it was written. You want to know a little bit about the authors. You want to do as much work on each character that you would do as if you were performing the role in a professional production. So it's as though we're looking at a scrapbook of you in each of these productions when we see the program. And all of that research and digging will protect you when you're on stage, and you'll feel like you're in the middle of the core of your performance.
It's not enough to come on and sing your aria or song, as it were. You have to know why your character is there on stage at that moment. What does your character want? What is he or she trying to achieve in this scene? Where have they come from? Where did they come from? Where are they going? Every song takes place somewhere. You need to visualize that somewhere and then create it on stage, inhabit that space.
So there will be a piano with you on stage and an accompanist, obviously, accompanying you. But try not to get too set into the piano being part of your world.
Unless the piano is part of your scene, get away from it. Very rarely does a scene take place in the crook of a piano, so why would you stand there during the performance?
Wherever the scene takes place, that's where you are. What you see and what you feel is what we will receive as an audience member. So use your imagination, create your world, create everything that's around you, and then when you begin that song, that's where you are, and we'll be right there with you.
If you're going to use imaginary props in your performance, for instance, a cup, just make sure you know where it comes from and where it goes.
Let's say you're going to sing Summertime for Porgy and Bess, and you want to sing a lullaby, and you're singing to the baby. Be careful not to drop the baby, okay? So you have an imaginary prop, don't just drop it and then start singing about something else. Make sure that, you know, if you're going to do that and have an imaginary baby, you put the baby down, and then you go on to the next thing that you want to do. So any kind of imaginary prop like that. Or if you're writing, "Dear friend," and then you drop the piece of paper and the pen. So be careful, be strategic about how you use your imaginary props. Music is subjective, and as singers, it's easy to be seduced by the music and to be lured into playing a mood.
Mood spelled backwards is doom. You're doomed if you try to play the mood. Play the intention of the character. If you have repeated text, know the progress, know why that character is repeating that text.
Make sure that you are playing objectives and actions and relying on your text to make progress, some kind of progress and an arc through every song. And that will save you from staying in one place emotionally. When you're trying to figure out what to wear for your program, remember this is not a typical vocal competition. This is a theatrical competition.
The Lenya competition is not a recital. So you should not be coming in a tuxedo or your beautiful ball gown.
Choose one outfit that speaks to all four characters.
You want to wear something that you are comfortable in and that is appropriate to the character.
And you can have fun with this, deciding what this will be, but it should make sense. What you look like should make sense with each and every character. Remember that your great gift is to be a storyteller, and that the stories that each of these characters has is unique and important in its own way. So go out there and be the greatest storyteller there ever was.
We'll see you on the stage.